For this video, you find me with the 2022 Hyundai Sonata N-Line. This one is finished in the shimmering silver pearl paint with a black interior, and with delivery, this spec comes in at $34,645. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Shifting Lanes. My name is Hanson, and in this video, I want to give you my thoughts on Hyundai's most powerful Sonata ever. And I want to give you my likes and dislikes so that you have a better idea before you buy. And if you learn anything new while watching this or have any feedback, comment it down below. And if you like this style of video review, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and especially that notification bell button, because your views and your comments will keep this channel growing. So what I have here is a really fun sports sedan, and it all starts in the engine bay. This Sonata comes equipped with a 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that makes 290 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. This is the same engine that you can find in the Kia K5 GT, the Stinger, the Genesis G80, and the SUV, the GV80. I've also reviewed the Hyundai Santa Cruz Limited, which has this engine as well, so if you want to check that one out, please click the link up here. This 2.5-liter turbo is a powerful engine. The total curb weight of the Sonata N-Line is 3,552 pounds, which means that this has a pretty good power to weight ratio, and that should return a 0 to 60 time of about 5.3 seconds. But my favorite part of this engine is that it has both GDI, or direct injection, and MPI, or port injection. A lot of modern cars from the past decade have introduced direct injection into them, which is pretty good considering that the combustion is a lot more powerful and you also get better fuel efficiency. But the reliability of direct injection engines is still suspect due to the potential carbon deposits on those intake valves. So that's where MPI, or port injection, comes in. That's the traditional way of injecting fuel into the cylinder. It's mixed with the air before it enters the cylinder, and it can keep those intake valves pretty clean. And another benefit is that it generally operates better at low to mid speeds. Toyota has been doing something like this for their engines. It's called the D4S system. So it's really nice to see that Hyundai is doing the same thing, because they've had some pretty nasty engine reliability issues in the past. They've had to issue recalls. So hopefully this is going to be a more reliable system for them. Another big like for me is the 8-speed wet dual clutch transmission. The Santa Cruz Limited and the Veloster N DCT have the same transmission, and it shifts lightning fast, and using those paddle shifters can be somewhat engaging. This transmission is a big improvement over their older 7-speed dual clutch transmissions. I would know because I own a 2017 Hyundai Tucson with the 7-speed dual clutch gearbox. This one shifts so much better than the other one, and it also doesn't feel too jerky during low speed situations, which is usually not a happy place for these dual clutch transmissions. It's also worth noting that this transmission is considered a wet dual clutch transmission, and that's because it has a high flow and a high pressure oil pump to help cool the transmission for those vehicles that need to put down a lot of power, just like the Sonata, the Veloster N with the dual clutch transmission, and the Santa Cruz Limited. All of them make over 300 pound-feet of peak torque. However, I can't really speak to the reliability just yet because, again, these are still very new, but after reading the forums and car complaint websites, I haven't really seen too many complaints just yet. Let's switch over to the interior for a bit. For a $35,000 vehicle, there's plenty to like. There's a 12-speaker Bose premium audio sound system, a 10.25-inch infotainment system with built-in navigation and Apple CarPlay. The seats are pretty nice and they have a little bit of bolstering on them, and I also like the letter N on the backrest. The microfiber feel of the surfaces isn't too bad, and I really like the red contrast stitching to remind you that this is a sportier car than the plainer Sonatas. Looking ahead, there's a beautiful 12.3-inch fully digital instrument cluster, and as for the steering wheel, it is unique to the N-Line. There's red contrast stitching, a special N-Line badge, nice paddle shifters, and plenty of physical buttons to control your music, adaptive cruise control, and toggling through the menu systems on the instrument cluster. Other awesome features of this interior are the aluminum sport pedals that can only be found on the N-Line, and that beautiful panoramic sunroof that you and all the other passengers can enjoy. But given that this is the N-Line, it means that it's missing some of the more luxurious features. And those features are the ventilated front seats. There's also no heads-up display. I know that's a feature that some folks like. And there's also no surround view monitor, which provides some really cool tricks for the instrument cluster. All of those things can be found in the limited version of the Sonata. And if you want to see my review of one, click the link up here. Now let's move on to the outside for a second, because the Sonata N-Line has a pretty polarizing design. The daytime running lights wraps around and blends into the chrome trim. It's a really cool effect, but I'm not sure if it's for everybody. The front bumper has a big grille, and there's some pretty aggressive looking intake ducts to help feed that air into the intake. And then you have the Hyundai logo covered by glass, which means that this car has some smart safety sensors that can give you radar adaptive cruise control and clever lane keeping systems. Around the side, the Sonata has some more distinct features that make it look more sporty. The N-Design 19-inch wheels looks fast and sharp, and then the side skirt is unique to this N-Line, giving it a lower to the ground look. And finally at the rear, I love the fastback design. The quad exhaust look is very sporty, and so does the rear diffuser and the integrated duckbill spoiler. Overall, not a bad looking sedan in my opinion. Again, let me know your thoughts below. As for the driving experience, I touched on this earlier. This is a powerful sedan, and the combination of a torquey engine and the lightning quick 8-speed transmission, that means a spirited and very willing commuter. The suspension is tuned differently than other Sonatas. The spring rates are stiffer, and also the sway bars are thicker. So this rides a bit rougher on less than ideal pavement, but that's a trade-off I'll take, because this is a lot more responsive and a lot more fun when the road gets more twisty. The steering feel is nicely damped, and the response is pretty good. For an even better experience, you can add on a summer performance tire package for $200. Well worth the upgrade if this thing won't ever see any snow. Regardless of the tire choice, this thing is riding on 245mm wide tires, which means that this has more grip and you'll have more fun in this Sonata compared to the other trims. Overall, this is a really impressive sports sedan. There's a lot of power, there's a lot of good tech inside, and also the driving experience is quite nice. If you're shopping around for sports sedan, you should also take a look at the Camry TRD and the Jetta GLI, both of which I've reviewed before, so make sure you check out the links in the description box for those videos. So I want to hear your thoughts on the Hyundai Sonata N-Line. Is this a sports sedan that you would consider? Please let me know down below. Let's wrap it up right there. I want to thank you so much for watching all the way till the end. My name's Hanson, and this has been the 2022 Hyundai Sonata N-Line, and I'll see you next time.